does. Now that was solid, that promo. This, suspect. I think it's the perfect time to revisit Steven's A-list from earlier in the show on his dream Super Bowl matchups. Damian Woody joins us to get in on the action. Here's what Stephen A. had on his list. Number 5 was Rams-Chiefs, 4 Bucks-Patriots, 3 Packers-Chiefs, 2 Bucks-Chiefs, and number 1, Cowboys-Pats. Damian, I'll let you settle this.
Listen, first of all, you see how somebody all up in my grill right now.
But
you know, I'm not even pressed right now because I'm just that fresh and fly and everything. First of all, you need to back up off me. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm looking at this list that you threw up there in the first hour. Can we start right here, please? Can we start right here?
You know what the list is? I'm saying, first of all, remind the audience, what is the list? The list is
the list?
my preference for my favorite Super Bowl matchups for this season, what I would prefer to see. That's all this list is. So what's the problem with my preference?
I'm just taking over your list, okay? Because it's just blasphemous. The fact that you got, let's start here. Number 4, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots at 4?
Yes.
Listen, the Super Bowl's going to be in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Hollywood.
That's right.
Everything, like you talk about movies and scripts.
Yes.
What better script could you possibly write than have Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, where you got Bill Belichick, Tom Brady going head-to-head in the Super Bowl, and you're going to disrespect that whole narrative and put it at 4? See, you know what? Here's the deal. See, I already know you got the Packers and Aaron Rodgers ahead. You and Aaron Rodgers, I tell you what, I don't understand you and Aaron Rodgers. The fact that you got them over top of this narrative right here, this script right here.
I've been very disappointed in Aaron Rodgers because of that deliberately deceitful stuff he pulled. But I love him. I love him. He's still a bad man. He's still my all-time favorite quarterback. Nothing will ever change that. And go ahead. Keep going because I'm going to pick your stuff apart. You keep going ahead.
And then, then this whole Buccaneers Chiefs thing right
here. What's the problem?
Like, we don't want to see that again. We don't want to see that again.
Why not?
Okay, we want this right here. We want this narrative right here. Bucks, Patriots, we want to see that in the big dog, in the big game, in the bright lights in Hollywood. But I should have known, looking at number 1 right here, I should have known, as much as you talk about the Cowboys and you hate the Cowboys, you really love them. You really do. You really love them. You really love them because you got them. You got the Dallas Cowboys at number 1. You want to see the Dallas Cowboys? You're the same dude that talk about wait till right around Thanksgiving. What can go wrong will go wrong. So aren't you going against your own self by putting the Dallas Cowboys in SoFi Stadium at the Super Bowl? Why would you want that?
Allow me to explain.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Number 1. Let's get to the Bucks and the Patriots first. When I say the Rams, it's because it's SoFi and that's their home turf. You understand? SoFi. So
you're basically just not trying to disrespect them.
I'm just
okay, gotcha.
And then not only that, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey.
I got it. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? My Odell Beckham Jr. I'd love to see him in the Super Bowl. Okay, that's just me. That's all that's about.
Okay.
And when I say
you're just throwing them a bone.
That's right. When I say the Chiefs, I'm imagining that high octane offense that we saw for the last 2 to 3 years returns to form. That's what I'm saying. Because listen,
we in December. When the hell is this offense going to come?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a preference.
Okay, go ahead.
That's all this is. All this is a preference. I'm not saying they're going to make it there because I don't have them going to the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is if the Chiefs' high-octane offense returns to some degree, that's what I want to see in a Super Bowl because I don't want to see a 13-3 Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I want a shootout.
Okay.
So that's where the Chiefs come from. That's all that's about in the AFC, right? When I think about, let me get to this point with the Bucks and the Patriots. I understand nothing will generate more headlines than that. And I understand that Tom Brady is on the field going against the mastermind Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick ain't on the field. And so for me, I'm thinking more along the lines of outside of just the storyline because nothing's going to eclipse Buccaneers Patriots storyline. I do understand that. Tinseltown, the headlines, they definitely would usurp anybody. What I'm saying is when the actual game starts, I don't want to see a replica of the Rams Patriots. I don't want to see a replica of the Buccaneers and Patriots when they were in Foxborough and it was 1917. I want a shootout. I like the 40-33. So that's where I'm coming from with this. Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes is self-explanatory. Buccaneers, a revenge game, potentially. Chiefs going against the Buccaneers.
I need you to explain yourself here. I need you to explain yourself.
This is what I say for last. Hold on, Molly. This is what I say for last. I think that the Dallas Cowboys going to go home early. and nothing would please me more. But here's the deal. If you're talking the actual Super Bowl itself, Super Bowl Sunday, the game, kickoff time, could you imagine the joy that I will feel if the Dallas Cowboys are in the Super Bowl and they got a 25-point lead the way the Falcons did against the Patriots, and the team that I believe is America's team, the Patriots, came back like they did against the Falcons, and the Cowboys collapsed in the Super Bowl?
Where's Dan
Could you
Orlovsky?
imagine anything
I can't hear
that
him
would
anymore.
be better for me?
Okay, enough.
I can't, but
Dan,
there's
please
nothing
get in
that would
here.
be better than that.
It's too much looking at.
Nothing.
Big Oliver Miller, Stephen A. This is what I, for the life of me, cannot understand.
Oliver Miller.
We all
Yeah, he
know
talking
the
about me.
Bucs,
Big Smooth, you know, Big
Bucs
Smooth.
and the Patriots would be the most dramatic storyline in the Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
And I can't understand that this guy is the guy that doesn't want it. This guy? This guy?
Wow.
Wow.
That guy don't want it.
I mean,
You got it, Dan.
What's this, Brick?
Got it.
This Brick, right? Brick.
It's
Wow.
Brick. It's Brick. It's Brick. By the
How
way,
does this guy not want it?
I understand because I'm thinking about the actual game. The actual
Hollywood,
game, not the
Hollywood.
headline.
You ain't in that business.
I'm not talking about the lead up to the game.
Stephen A.
And you see, hold on. Do you see?
Brick
By the way,
consoles
by the way, that lady right there is the beautiful Laura Wright, who plays Carly on General Hospital. I love her to death. She is wonderful, okay? Wonderful actress, beautiful lady, beautiful person. That's great. And that's Brick, the surveillance expert. That would be me. I am returning to General Hospital next week, just so y'all know. I'm showing up next week to tape a few scenes for a couple of days. I just want to let
Thank you for letting us know that was you in the video. We weren't sure. Man, he cleared that up for us. He let us know that's him in the video.
I understand.
We thought it was somebody
We're all
else.
waiting on that.
Oh my
That's right.
goodness. Thanks for identifying all the characters.
Well, listen. Be careful. I might have a love interest soon. Stay tuned.
I've been wondering where Brick has been.
All right, we gotta go.
By the way, I'm just telling y'all right now, the storyline is great. But when the game actually starts,
you're done.
my
That's not your
scenario is
business.
number one.
You're done. Okay, worry about your love scene.
Beautiful.
We've got a
I don't
Thursday
have to
night
worry about
football matchup. That's today. What life different football matchup you'd want to see, right? Belichick, Brady, let's go.
Hell to the no, Molly. That's not where I'm at with this. That's y'all wishes, okay? Molly
Sure
Gill.
is.
What does she want? She wants Tom Brady against Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick ain't running any routes. Bill Belichick ain't sacking anybody. Bill Belichick ain't catching touchdown passes or running for them. I don't care about that matchup. I got my own preference. I don't know about everybody else, but I got my own preferences of what I'd like to see in the Super Bowl. My top 5 matchups that I'd actually like to see. Let's go to the list right here. Give it to me right now. Number 5 on the list, please. The Rams versus the Chiefs. Why? Because it's at SoFi. That's why Matthew Stafford is supposed to be a gunslinger, isn't he? Last time I checked, Odell Beckham Jr. is a part of that roster now to join Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald's still there. Jalen Ramsey's still there. Von Miller is there. Why wouldn't I want to see the Rams on their home turf like Tampa Bay was last year at SoFi, going up against a rejuvenated Patrick Mahomes, flinging that football? I'm assuming that their offense is going to be elite and a juggernaut again. At least I hope so. And if I get that in the Super Bowl, I'd rather see a shootout than a damn defensive-minded game. I don't want to see another 19-17 matchup, even though that occurred in inclement weather in Foxborough. That's not what I want to see. This would be on my top 5. Let's go to number 4 on the list, please. Give it to me right now. The Buccaneers against the Patriots. I'll put that on the list right there. I just acknowledged that. Why am I looking at the Bucs and Patriots? Because everybody else wants to see it. And who am I? I am a man of the people, Dan Orlovsky. I am a man of the people. I'll give you your Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick, despite everything that I just said, because that's what the people want. And when you are a man of the people, you don't just do what you want to do. You think about what your constituency wants. That's why I could easily be the president of the United States of America. Stephen A. for president. Stephen A. for president. That's right. I'm telling you right now. Let me get to number 3 on the list before you comment, Dan Orlovsky. Stay with me. Number 3 on the list, please. Give it to me right now. The Packers versus the Chiefs. Why? Aaron Rodgers. Who is he? He's a bad man. Whoa! Aaron Rodgers against a rejuvenated Patrick Mahomes with Tyreek Hill, with my brother from another mother, Travis Kelce, all right, with an improved defense, with the Packers going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I'd get a little defense, but I'd get more offense. It would be an exciting matchup. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers against Patrick Mahomes, with Aaron Rodgers reminding the world that from a talent perspective, he is the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League as a talent. Tom Brady's the winner, him as a talent. Let's go to number 2 on the list, please. Give it to me right here. The Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. Why? Because when we saw them in the Super Bowl last year, Kansas City got shellacked. Patrick Mahomes had a toe injury. The offensive line was in shatters. That wouldn't be the case this time around. The offensive line would be improved. Patrick Mahomes would be healthier. Plus, you'd have the rest of the crew with them. And again, we're assuming that their offense would be rejuvenated and they would have vengeance on their mind because they know they got embarrassed and beat down by the Buccaneers last year in the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes in a rematch, I think, would be an incredibly exciting thing to witness. And I think the football world would be hyped to see that matchup. But none of them are the number one list. That's number one that I would want on my list. You know what I would love to see? It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen, Dan Orlovsky. But number one on the list would be this. Give it to me right here. Yeah! The Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots. Guess what, y'all? America's team, the Patriots, against America's fraudulent team, the Dallas Cowboys. And guess how it would go out? Guess what my wish would be, Dan Orlovsky? Are you ready for this? I want a replica of when the Falcons went against the Patriots. Dak Prescott with Gallup, with Amari Cooper, with CeeDee Lamb, with Ezekiel Elliott, with Tony Pollard and the crew. Throw Schultz and Wilson in there. Throw, obviously, you got Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs and DeMarcus Lawrence in there. And Dallas is destroying the New England Patriots. They go up 28-3. They got a 25-point lead. And with the world going crazy thinking the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl, they collapse and drop like a bag of cheap bricks. And they end up surrendering the lead. And the Patriots, led by a rookie quarterback, leads them back from a 25-point deficit, and they win the Super Bowl championship, completely destroying the Cowboys' hopes, sending them home in the offseason, completely and utterly miserable, falling short in such embarrassing and conspicuous fashion. That would be my dream scenario as the number one matchup, because by doing so, they will establish who America's team truly, truly is, and who it should have never, ever been. That's the list.
Molly, I've got a couple thoughts. Okay, first of all,
talk to me.
Stephen A's a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's a psychopath. He is sick in the head that not only he thought of this list, but then he thought exactly how he wants the game to go to be like the most enjoyable to him. The second thing is, candidly, when I watch you do this list, Stephen A., it's like me last night on the couch with my wife, and I'm watching The Challenge, and I'm watching Tori try to cheat for Emmanuel. It stunk, and so does this list, because not having the Buccaneers versus the Patriots at 1 is embarrassing. Just truthfully, because all those cool matchups, like the Cowboys and the Patriots, cool, but none of them are historical. Like historical.
Yeah, this right here, Dan, right here. At the very least, you have to swap them. You're calling it a revenge game. This is 20 years in the making.
This
versus
is
1.
Nostalgic. I mean, we're talking about none of those have. You're the General Hospital guy. You're the storyline guy.
Yeah.
You're the dramatic actor. The Buccaneers Patriots is historical and nostalgic in ways that we can't ever describe.
Well, you can't describe it. I can describe it. I have no doubt that would generate the most headlines. But I'm thinking about the actual game itself. And at the end of the day, even though Tom Brady would be going up against Bill Belichick's defense, and I respect that, Bill Belichick ain't on the field. So I'm deferring to what I would like to see. I would like to see, because let's say, for example, Bill Belichick is the mastermind that we all know him to be, and he completely neutralizes Tom Brady and turns it into a Super Bowl like the Rams and Patriots were, where it was 13-3. I was at that Super Bowl.
Okay.
The only exciting thing that happened for me at that Super Bowl is that I was hanging out with Boomer and Randy Moss in the suite.
All right,
we were in the suite together, so I was hanging out with Randy Moss and Boomer. That's it.
Go packing.
Okay, I understand.
Stephen A.
Stephen
And I can tell by your face right now, that smile, that you know we're right.
No,
doubt.
I don't.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
No
Anyway,
doubt.
why are you so obsessed with the Chiefs? Why are they in every matchup?
Because
They're in three. They're in three. They're in 3 out of 5.
Can we spread
I'm
the
saying,
wealth?
I love the fact that I want offense in the Super Bowl. I want excitement. Like, for example, one of my all-time
You want offense? Did you just see what the Patriots did?
One of my all-time favorite Super Bowls was when Philadelphia went up against the Patriots, and it was 40-33. I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Well,
I don't want to see.
Hold on, one second.
Dallas, 35-31.
Last time we saw the Patriots, Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times.
That's right.
So you're gonna get a ton of offense in this one. Get out of here.
Against the Cowboys,
What would you do if your game happens and the Cowboys won? Like you would, your life would be miserable.
That's something I can't even fathom. I just don't see that happening. I don't see the Cowboys as Super Bowl champions again in my lifetime. I just don't see it.
You want to know a game that I would love to see that you didn't put up there?
What?
I would love to see the Rams versus the Browns. And I would love to see, I would love to see the two quarterbacks.
I'm done with him.
Because they're your friends.
I'm done with him.
You like
I'm done with him.
That's terrible.
I'm
Go
done with
to
him.
break.
I'm done with him.
I
want to see the quarterback that everyone thinks stinks versus the quarterback that everyone thinks stinks.
I'm done with him.
No. All right, let's go to break. Let's go to break. That was sad, Dan. I'm disappointed in you.
I want to see it, Mom.
You know, we knew it was going to be some growing pains with a new coaching staff, first-time head coach, and so many new guys, and we just working our way through it.
Stephen A., you had a lot to say about Dame's future yesterday. What's your reaction to what you just heard, that we're going to turn it around?
I'm not happy about it. As I stated on a few occasions, I spoke to Damian Lillard a few days ago. He has never lied. He has always been honest about what his position is. While we were talking on the phone, he made sure that he wanted everybody to know he didn't ask for any extension. He wanted everybody to know that he didn't ask for an extension, that he supports and is all in on Chauncey Billups, and that, again, would he love to play, for example, when the rumors about Ben Simmons or whatever, well, in his mind, who wouldn't want to play with Ben Simmons? But that doesn't mean that he wants anybody gone, like C.J. McCollum or anybody else. That's one of his best friends. So he just made sure to make those statements. And obviously his agent extraordinaire, Aaron Goodwin and the Goodwin brothers, because they know what the hell they're doing, they're obviously actively involved in all of this as well. But I say this again, I am not happy with what I'm hearing. Damian Lillard needs to leave Portland. Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers ain't going anywhere. And that hurts me to say it. I got a lot of love for Chauncey Billups. I've known him for years. That's my brother right there. I'm rooting for him. Personally speaking, I don't like him being the coach. I wish that he was the president of basketball operations. That's just me. I look at him and I view him as an executive. Not to say he's not going to do a good job, that he can't coach. I'm not saying that at all. But when I see Scott Brooks on the bench, I think, I'd like to see Scott Brooks on the bench and Chauncey Billups running this organization. That's my personal opinion. In the end, you just don't have the personnel. Now, could they go out and could they get a couple of dudes? Could they get a Ben Simmons? Could they get some other players? And pair them?
What would it take to do something?
I think that it would take, you got to move. If you're not going to move Damian Lillard, you'd have to move CJ. You'd have to get Ben Simmons. You'd have to get another big to replace Nurkic, because I don't think Nurkic is the answer. And you'd have to change the face of that roster in order for Damian Lillard to stay. And I don't think you can do that and keep Damian Lillard. And as a result, I think Damian Lillard should leave. Damian Lillard disturbs me in this regard. He says, I'm all in, I'm here, and it's going to take time. Well, how much time does Damian Lillard think he has? He's 31, that's for sure. He ain't 38 or anything like that. So I understand that. But this league has an awful lot of young talent spread throughout the league. And the guys that are older are Damian Lillard's age. with the exception of LeBron. I mean, most of the time, Anthony Davis is 28. Giannis is 27. You know, you look at Kevin Durant, he's around Damian Lillard's age. You look at Donovan Mitchell, he ain't going anywhere. I mean, just Luka Doncic is younger. Everywhere you look, you see dudes with incredible potential that are Damian Lillard's age or younger. So how is staying in Portland going to help you? So when I listen and I hear the reports about, you know, Portland's got a decision to make, you're damn right they got a decision to make. You're damn right. Because I'm not questioning what Damian Lillard is worth. What I'm saying is that ain't enough for this team to win. Damian Lillard needs to be in a better situation. This is one of the great. Damian Lillard's a future Hall of Famer, first ballot. Easy. Okay, easy. This brother is one of the most prolific shooters in the game, one of the most prolific players in the game, and arguably the greatest closer in the game. This brother's Mr. Big Shot. He's the modern day Mr. Big Shot. That's who he is. He has to be in a better situation. Whether it's Philly, I ain't going to say the Knicks because even though that's his number one preference to be at Madison Square Garden, I'm disgusted with what I'm seeing with the Knicks right now. Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett had the entire offseason, still haven't worked on their right hand. They're going left, and they're going to use their left. Why should Damian Lillard want to play with that? You should be trying to.
He says he's not asking for a trade.
He's not.
Believe it.
And he's not. He totally, and I totally believe him. He's not asking because he wants to be in, because he's loyal. I'm saying it's to a fault in this situation because he ain't going to lose. He needs to end up in Boston with Jason Tatum or in Philly with Joel Embiid. I would love for him to be a New York Knick, but my God,
East Coast.
What I'm seeing, why the hell would you do that? I'm very disgusted with that.
They're 11 and 15th, 11th in the West. More in the association coming up, y'all. Steph just 10 threes away from breaking rank. Coming at you right now, the Cowboys have an important stretch of games coming up, and you might be surprised who says you can't trust Jerry's team. Plus, Kyler Murray returned from injury last week by throwing 2 touchdowns and running in 2 more. But find out why someone here would rather have Matthew Stafford in this weekend's Rams-Cardinals matchup. All that and more coming up. Steph is getting closer to passing Ray Allen for most threes all time in a win versus the Blazers last night. Steph Curry had history on his mind. He made 6 threes shooting from deep on 17 of his 19 attempts. His next shot at the record will be Saturday night against his brother Seth in the 76ers on ABC. The one and only Vince Carter joining us now. Vince, always good to see you. I will start with you, sir. I like the suit, looking clean. Is Steph the player that's going to have the biggest impact on this NBA season?
I think so. And here's why I think so. Because look at the team. And Stephen A., I know you've already said Golden State is probably going to win the championship and sure going to the thing. And I don't know if you said that prior to seeing them play or not. But I think looking at this team now, and I know a lot of people said, oh, the young guys, they aren't battle tested. I understand that. But they've been around long enough to understand how things work in the Golden State organization. And what Steph Curry is doing right now is unbelievable because all of the attention still goes towards Steph Curry and stopping him. Now, 2015, when he had Durant, when he had Clay playing where they were playing, yes, you understood why open shots were there. Now, it's not the same. You see all the attention. There's a double team there. 3, not a problem. He is playing basketball at a very high level with all the attention on him and to stop him. And they are whatever in 4 right now. 4 losses with that team right now. It says a lot. He definitely has the bigger impact.
Interesting that you say that. I don't knock you for it, my brother. Good call. Put Vince Carter up on the screen, please, because I want to see him when I say what I'm about to say. Vince Carter, it makes a lot of sense because I believe the Golden State Warriors going to win the chip. All right, I watched them first week. I said, what the hell was I thinking? This kid, Jordan Poole, and the way he's playing Toscano Anderson, Gary Payton II. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And I'm imagining Klay Thompson coming back along with Wiseman coming back. And I'm saying this brother's won the title with
Even Andrew Wiggins.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know why I keep. I should have forgotten.
Like he's balling.
He's had a good year. He's balling. Once upon a time, I wouldn't have gave him away for a bag of cookies because I thought he was entirely too passive. That's not the case anymore. Andrew Wiggins has stepped up. I really respect what I'm seeing from that brother this year. He's doing a damn good job. Can't forget him. Okay, but there's something that you didn't think about, and I'm here to remind you.
Remind me.
Who's the number 1 team in the East? That would happen to be the Brooklyn Nets at
The
17-8, right? That would happen to be the Brooklyn Nets, right? That's without Kyrie. What if he comes back? That would be the biggest impact on the NBA this season. Because if
But it's a
Kyrie
question mark.
I understand that. Well, it's all a question mark. It's all a question mark.
But-
I mean, because we're looking at guys that are playing, but we understand, again,
Right.
I'm just talking about impact. I'm just talking about what can shift everything. We can talk about Milwaukee. We can talk about Miami. 1 week we raving about the Nets, and then they go against a team above 500, and we're like, who the hell is this team? We rave about Chicago and Zach LaVine and the fact that he's emerging as a star in this league, and then they get bounced last night. All right, once upon a time, I stupidly talk about we here in New York City, and I forgot that Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett refused to use their right hand, one-arm bandits. I just forgot about all of that stuff, okay? I'm looking at Miami, Jimmy Butler and these brothers, they might be ready. I'm looking in the West. I'm saying Kawhi Leonard could come back. I could easily use this name. LeBron could stir the Lakers in the right direction. I could easily use that name. I'll roll with you on Steph because I just think, and CP3, we can't forget him and what he brings to the table. Yep. But I'm going to roll with you on Steph. The one thing that can change everything, and I mean everything, definitively, if Kyrie Irving comes back this season, all of a sudden, Milwaukee don't look as formidable. Miami don't look as formidable. All right? Philadelphia is irrelevant. Atlanta ain't nobody thinking about them. Yeah, you got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. You got Vince Carter living in the ATL. You got stuff like that going on, but it ain't going to help them. Okay? Out west, you looking at everybody else. If Kyrie comes back and Kyrie, James Harden, and KD join forces for a significant chunk of time, that's the one thing that could have us all saying we need to pause and rethink everything we've been saying about everybody else.
So you're saying when he comes back, it will be business as usual. Things will go back to normal. Because, I feel like they're going to need some time.
Sure.
Adding Kyrie back and,
no, this is all I mean, Vince.
Feelings.
This is all I mean, Vince. If Vince sat up here and said, Warriors like Stephen A., if Vince sat up here and said, Warriors going to win the chip. If somebody else said Will Bond and Jalen Rose like Phoenix gonna win it. If somebody said Milwaukee or Miami, no matter what argument we make anywhere, the one move that could force us all to say, hold on, let's wait a minute, is Kyrie returning to the Brooklyn Nets. Head case and all. Walking around like he Moses, spreading sage all over the arenas. You got his cane like he's the prophet and all of this other stuff. All of that, throw all of it aside. We know this brother's a superstar. And Kyrie Irving steps on the court with KD and Harden. We have to pause every single argument that's out there in the NBA right now. There isn't one single argument that won't force us to pause if Kyrie Irving comes back to the Nets.
Now, do they become, in your opinion, hands down favorites if we're talking about Nets, Warriors in the finals?
No, they become hands down favorite in the East. In the East, yes.
Okay. Because when Clay comes back, Wiseman comes back, I feel like Wiseman is huge.
I still believe in the Warriors. But I'm telling you, Kyrie is the one move. His arrival back to Brooklyn this season is the one move that no matter who you pick, we all got to pull.
I thought you would have went Clay.
We all got to. No, I already got the Warriors as favorites. I already got the Warriors as favorites.
Here's my only pushback. Here's my only pushback, or let me say, not pushback, thought, is that I feel like when he comes back and he arrives with this team, they still need him to be right and in the right mind. Because if you're playing against a very good Golden State team that adds Klay Thompson and Wiseman, and everybody's playing like they're supposed to play or should play, what we've seen, he's going to have to be right. It's not just, come back and play because you're whatever.
Final word here.
I give you all of that, Vince. All I'm saying is it doesn't matter where you scour this country or the world. Everything pauses if Kyrie returns to Brooklyn. We all have to sit back and say, okay, we got to see what's going to happen here. Because the brother is that, even though he's a head case, the brother is that special And with KD averaging 28 on better than 52% shooting, 37% for three-point range, Harden's having a bad year, looks out of shape. Is averaging 29-8. 29-8. And that's in bad shape. That right now, Kyrie Irving turns to Brooklyn, every argument gets paused.
We're out of time. The future Hall of Famer, Vince Carter, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll talk to you soon. Jerry's team has all but secured a playoff spot, but does Stephen A. trust the Cowboys down the stretch? You might be surprised. And earlier, Stephen A. gave us his list of the top Super Bowl matchups that he'd run, winning their last 4 games. They're now 2 games behind Dallas, who has dropped 3 of their last 4, and they have Cowboys on their schedule twice. Coach Mike McCarthy, what's on your mind?
Well, it's the most important stretch. I mean, and frankly, we all know why the division games are laid out this way. But in my view, I think it's a great course for your football team to go through. We need it as a team. We need the challenges. We need adversity. We need everything about it. I really like the way this is teed up for us. Obviously, our focus is on this first game and only the first game, and so we're focused on getting the 9 wins, and that's all that really matters. But I love the gauntlet of this division stretch.
Well.
I'm back.
Hi, we missed you. Dan, do you trust the Cowboys down the stretch?
Molly, I do. I think the reality for me is the Cowboys have kind of had 2 seasons. You know, that first 7-game stretch this year when they went 6-1 and won 6 in a row, they were a relatively healthy football team. And I think it was clear that they were one of the best teams in the NFL. I actually thought before the Von Miller trade that they were the team to beat in the NFC. I saw somebody on this show put them number 1 as the best team in the NFC or maybe in the NFL in his list or power rankings. And then there's kind of been a secondary, it's fluid. Yeah, it's not. Okay, well, the fluidity of the season is that the second part of this season has been based upon injuries for Dallas. And, CeeDee Lamb missing time, and Amari Cooper missing time, and Tyron Smith missing time, and Zeke getting beat up, and Randy Gregory missing time, and DeMarcus Lawrence finally getting back. So
you I think gonna stop there, huh? You ain't gonna bring up the PED use. You ain't gonna bring up the suspension for trying to rob a test detector. You ain't gonna bring up any of that. You just gonna bring up the injuries. You gonna leave the other stuff out.
I'm trying to stay clean, Stephen A.
Force them to miss games. You just gonna leave that stuff out.
I try to stay clean. Okay, I think. Right, and listen, I don't want to. I hate the Cowboys fans just as much as you, Stephen A. My wife is from Philadelphia.
I don't think anybody
so I have to hate
like
the Cowboys fans.
Yeah, but not like I do.
If the Cowboys are healthy, and they got their horses, I think they can play with anyone in the NFL. I think their quarterback can play elite level football. They can beat you throwing the football. They got 3 weapons on the outside that are dynamic. They got 2 pass catching tight ends that are both good in the run game. They got a top 5 offensive line. They got a defense that can rush. Micah Parsons has become a scheme changer. So they can rush the quarterback. My only hesitation, candidly, is when teams decide to throw away from Trayvon Diggs to guys like Anthony Brown or Lewis. Those would be my only hesitation. But yes, if the Cowboys are healthy, I trust them. The only teams that I feel quarterback-wise that I bank on playing better would be Tampa Bay and would be Green Bay. Kyler, I got a question mark, and I love Matthew, but I want to see him in those big moments. Yeah, I trust the Cowboys.
There's nothing you can trust about the Cowboys. I was looking it up, right, man, because I was looking up, the black flag. I forgot the name of the black flag roach spray motel. Roaches check in, but they don't check out. Remember that slogan? I was thinking about that because that's what I think about when I think about. 55. That's what I think about when I think about. That's what I think about when I think about the Cowboy fans. I mean, they're just the worst. A nuclear bomb could drop and somehow, some way, a Cowboy fan will come sifting out. That's why I compare them to roaches, because they will somehow a Cowboy fan will survive. It's who they are, okay? It's who they are. But let me tell you something right now. You can say all of that. You can say all the things that you just said. What I'm saying to you is this. You lost your argument when you started off talking about 2 different seasons thus far. How can you trust a team with 2 different seasons? You can't really trust it.
Because injuries.
No, it's not.
4 of their last 5 games are against the NFC.
It's not just injuries. Injuries don't explain why you were down 30-0 to Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos. The injuries don't explain that. You know better than that.
bad.
Listen, the fact of the matter is, when you are the Dallas Cowboys, as I explained to you earlier in the show, we have to repeat ourselves because some people don't get the message. So I'm going to try to help you out here. The more you talk about them, the more you bloviate and blow them up, the more they will panic and they will fall. They are best when there are limited to no expectations. They are at their best when everybody's counting them out, when nobody expects anything from them. Everything about the Cowboys' history in the last 25 years points to, 26, 27 actually, points to expectations is what forces them to crumble. This is why Michael Irvin was on the sidelines talking to Dak Prescott, hugging them and trying to encourage him. You're the leader, man. You're the leader. You're the leader of America's team. You playing at an all-world level, and Michael Irvin feels compelled to come down to the sideline. You know why? Because he understands. And this is the one part that I didn't bring up earlier that I'm going to bring up to you. Did you know, and I'm serious, I'm not joking about this concept. Do you know that when I go to Dallas, I'm a star? I mean, the city. It's like.
Where do you stay? You stay at the Omni?
I don't tell them. I don't tell people where I stay, my brother. But it's at a nice hotel. It's a very nice spot. Kobe used to be there a lot too. I'll give you that hint. But here's the deal, God rest his soul. The point that I'm trying to make to you, Dan Orlovsky, is that they treat me a certain way. Could you imagine how they're treating Cowboys players when they're winning? I mean, oh my Lord, you just sprinkle on them and they too shall be healed. I mean, my goodness, it's just so special. It's just so special. And what I'm saying to you is these young bloods can't handle it. They can't handle it, man. The prosperity is something that they will crumble beneath. I'm trying to tell you, and this is what has happened 3 times in the last 4 weeks. It's why they folded, because they were 7-1. They were 7-1. We were calling them. Why you think Swagoo got mad at me? Because when I had them as the #1 team, you remember everybody was like, wow, wow, wow. But Swagoo was
ticked off. He did it on purpose?
He was ticked off because he said, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, right? Because the second you sat up there, what happened? Then they felt like a bag of cheap bricks. It's who they are. It's who they are. They can't help themselves.
So,
they in Big D, they walking around the streets, everybody talking Super Bowl and all of this other stuff. They can't handle it, bro. That's why Jerry Jones is nervous and he giving lectures on public radio. That's why Mike McCarthy,
blaming the wide receivers.
The wide receivers and had a wide receiver and the head coach, get subjected to this COVID protocol. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. They can't help themselves, Dan. And I'm telling you right now, Washington is not a better team than the Dallas Cowboys. They are not a better team, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they won this weekend. You know why? Because we're expecting something from the Dallas Cowboys. And that's when they fold. It's who they are.
This is the downside of you being on national television, because I'm going to go back to the last hour as well. Yes. And you told me and you told America that if the Dallas Cowboys lose this weekend, you are coming to Philadelphia with me. We're going to go watch that game when the Cowboys go up there week 18 for the division.
I don't mind that at all.
Right.
But can Jalen Hurts at least be quarterbacking as opposed to Gardner Minshew? I mean, can we have at least Jalen Hurts?
Do you always need conditions perfect for your stay?
What do you say about my last name? Because my last name ain't good.
I'm not knocking the last name. I like Gardner, but the point is that him and celebrating outside with his daddy, it was a very nice scene. I get all of that. Man. It's a very nice scene. But at the end of the day, do I want to take time out of my Sunday to go down to Philadelphia if he's the quarterback? No, I want to see Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys. I want to see Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys. That's all I ask. And I'll be there.
We're going.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Don't you can come too. Mom, you can come.
Thank you.
No, let her stay with her UConn Huskies. The point is, let me tell you this.
Dan's a UConn Husky.
So what?
Wrong person to say it to.
Let me tell y'all something right now. Don't let me come down to Lincoln Financial Field, because that's my turf. Don't let me come down to Lincoln Financial Field with Philadelphia having a chance to win the division crown. Oh my God, don't let, or to ruin it for the Cowboys. Like Cowboys are with the game. If they lose the game, they would lose the. Don't let that be the circumstances. Because if I roll up in there and the Dallas Cowboys, the division crown is going to rise.
Are you a star in Philadelphia?
That's going to be hilarious.
Excuse me, are you a star in Philadelphia? Are you a star in Philadelphia or only in Dallas?
Hell yes.
Oh, I didn't
Philly's
know.
my second home.
Shocking
Angelo
answer.
Cataldi, Mike Missinelli and
Oh,
the crew.
dropping
of
so
these
many
things.
names, I can't catch them all.
I'm their brother. You know, Rhea Hughes, I miss your girl. It's been a long time. She worked with
Here
Angelo
we go.
Cataldi.
Here
I mean,
we
the
go.
people, AI still
My
up
guy.
there. He fly
He
down
eats
from
it
the
right
south
up,
to
Dan.
come up to Philadelphia. Philly's my home. Sunny Hill, the great Sunny Hill. Love you, my brother. Miss you too. Come on now. The
All right.
Philly, that's home for me. They love me.
Yeah, you
I
rep
tell you that
Philly
right now.
harder.
That's right. Now they booed me. They booed me when Allen Iverson's had getting his jersey hung up in the rafters and mentioned me and they booed me. But that comes with the territory. If they're not booing you, they don't love you. They love me. They're gonna boo a lot, but they love me. Trust me, it's Philly. Don't let
I
the Cowboys
know.
division crown be on the line. I'm gonna roll up in Philly. Hell,
Special, Dan.
I might
Very special.
lead a tailgate party, Dan Olaf.
Oh,
I might do that.
my goodness.
I might do that.
First take tailgate
I
party?
might do that. Let the Cowboys division crown be on the line. Philly gonna handle that.
You better get a real. You better get a real spread. Oh, we can get Carmen to do it. We're good.
My sister,
Look at this.
please.
Well, it's all
Sister
coming
Carmen.
together.
My sister
Okay.
Carmen got the,
I like
got
it.
the cooking down pat, please.
Let's go.
Odie,
We'll go to
man, he
D'Alessandro's.
might eat all the food.
We'll go to D'Alessandro's,
He might
get
eat all
some
the food.
cheesesteaks.
I don't know if there'll be enough left for us. That's a big boy right there. He like to eat.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm just
We'll leave it there. The Cardinals have been the team to beat all. This is going to be good. I need some Tebow time, some Tebow energy here in NYC. Perfect timing.
Yeah, I mean, he's my friend. I'll give him that. But Tebow, since he's gotten on First Take, he's changed.
What?
I think he's a little bit too harsh. I think he tries to come at me a little bit too much sometimes, And first of all, he was a beautiful guy, beautiful person,
Yeah.
but now he got the beautiful wife. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's emboldened him. You know what I'm saying? I think Tim
As
Tebow.
it should.
I think Tim Tebow think he all that. And now what he want to do, he didn't have to come in here tomorrow. He didn't have to come to the studio. He come in the studio to try to take over this show. That's what he's trying to do.
He just speaks the truth, and you can't take it, Dan.
I'm not going to let him do it. I'm not going to let him do it. He's coming in to try to take over this show, and it ain't going to happen, okay? Dan Orlovsky learns that message every week when he tried to take over the show.
Well,
Michael Irvin tried. Keyshawn tried. Swagoo, he just gave up. He just huffed and puffed. But we all know he got his troubles with NFL Live because Mina and Dan be beating him down. And Laura just she massages it a little better than you, Molly. She massages it a little better than you.
You mean finesse?
She doesn't. She's not a
massage,
Benedict
finesse.
Arnold. She's not a Benedict Arnold. But this
guess-
Tim Tebow is out of control. We have to stop it.
We've got new meaning to the initials SAS. Instead of Stephen A. Smith, they're going to be Sensitive A. Smith. That Tim Tebow's too harsh on me. And he tries to take over my show. And he makes me feel bad inside about myself.
You can't take the star power.
Toughen up, dude.
You know what I think? I don't think that's Dan Orlovsky. I think that's Mrs. Orlovsky. I think Mrs. Orlovsky
Sensitive
put
A.
that.
Smith.
I think Mrs. Orlovsky put that in his ear.
We ain't scared of you, Stephen A.
I think
We ain't scared of you.
She's from Philly.
And by the
she
way,
knows you're sensitive, man.
the wives have been ganging up on me. Dan Orlovsky, the wife is in his ear. Swagoo's wife just rolled up on me. She just
Can you
rolled
let
up.
that
She
go?
just
That was
rolled
like
up.
years
She-
ago.
No,
No
but
bark,
she
no
was,
bite.
She was very intimidating. I couldn't believe that she went at me
Sensitive
that
A.
way.
She loves her man.
All right. Listen, man, my sister Carmen gonna get all of y'all.
Oh
Y'all
my
keep
goodness.
messing with
Monday
me.
Night Football.
Y'all keep
All right,
messing
two of
with
the
me.
NFL's
She gonna get
elite
all of y'all.
teams and
Get all of
quarterbacks
y'all.
will be facing
All right.
off on Monday night. Kyler Murray and the Cards will take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams. The Cards hold the top spot in the NFC West, with the Rams right behind them in second place. Despite missing 3 games, Kyler Murray currently tied for the 3rd shortest MVP odds. Murray paces the league in completion percentage, while Stafford's 30 passing touchdowns this season trails only Tom Brady's 34. Dan? Oh, actually, I'm going to start with you, Stephen A., even though you're kind of on one right now.
Please.
Who would you rather have, Stephen A., on Monday night, Kyler or Stafford?
Get that look off your
Kyler Murray.
face.
Kyler Murray. How is this even a question? Have you seen the way this brother has been balling throughout this year? Have you seen the way the Arizona Cardinals have been playing? Do you not know that they are the best team in football? I'm talking about the team with the best record in football. Do you not know this? Kyler Murray Cat Quick Kyler Murray, the guy we'd be talking about more. We should be talking about more because when we think about Lamar Jackson and his mercurial skills as a runner from the quarterback position, there's only one person in the league that compares to him, if at all, in terms of running the football, and that would be Kyler Murray. And we've seen that Kyler Murray can throw that football. He's a miniature dynamo. He's a winner. He's proven it right now. I love what I'm seeing from them. Their defense is opportunistic and athletic with some speed. Offensively, D-Hop, the resurrection of A.J. Green, James Conner. I'm looking at Kyler Murray and the weapons that he has available to him and his ability to do what he has been doing. And I got to tell you, I would want Kyler Murray right now over Matthew Stafford.
Stephen, how old are you? 58?
Why? I'm 54. I'm 54.
54.
I look good, don't I? Don't I look good? I look good, bro. Yeah, I do.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're so far. No, you played college basketball, right?
Yes, I did.
Great. So this is what happens when you're so far removed from being part of a team. You're so far removed from being a part of a team sport that you forget what it's like to be a rider for your teammates. I want Matthew Stafford. I'm never going to turn my back on Matthew Stafford because I'm a team guy. I'm not a guy that's a solo guy like Stephen A. that wants to just it all be about Stephen A. Smith.
Never.
Matthew Stafford is my brother.
Never.
He is my teammate.
Right.
And I would rather be wrong. I would rather be wrong than to turn my back on Matthew Stafford.
Hold on. What team were y'all on? What team were you? What team did y'all play together? Could you remind our audience?
Yeah, we
Matthew Stafford's he's on the Los Angeles Los Angeles Rams now.
He ain't on the Lakers. He ain't on the Lakers.
What I said Rams. What team were y'all teammates on?
We were on the 11-5 2014 Detroit Lions that your boy Jerry Jones screwed over in a playoff game. That's who we were on.
Screwed over a game. Okay.
Yeah. All right. And you know why I want to take Matthew Stafford again, because I'm a rider. You're a solo guy. I'm a team guy. I'll never turn my back. I'd rather be wrong.
Right.
But I want the guy that's 13th. 13th. I'll say it again. 13th all time in yards. Kyler Murray ain't that. I want the guy who's 12th all time in touchdowns. Matthew Stafford. I want the dude that's 4th right now in fourth quarter comebacks. 8th all time. All time in the history of the NFL. Kyler Murray's awesome. He's going to be a superstar for a long time. And he's having a nice season. Matthew Stafford's having a better season. He's having a better season. Matthew Stafford, you just said, is second in the league behind the guy that you want to see second Super Bowl with your list that stinks when it comes to touchdowns. Stinks. Give me Matthew Stafford.
Well,
give me Matthew Stafford.
Kyler Murray is completing 72.7% of his passes.
Matthew Stafford's completing 69.
Matthew Stafford, don't get me started. Should I call him Mr. Pick
69%.
Should I call him Mr. Pick 6 because he went 3 consecutive weeks doing that? Now, it stopped with Jackson.
And he's still got two interceptions
Excuse me. When I look at Matthew Stafford, he's lucky because he's clearly working in the offseason with Cooper Kupp. And obviously, that's his favorite target. He forgets about everybody else to throw the football to. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. When you look at the Los Angeles Rams and the suspect season that they have had, look at Kyler Murray and what he brings to the table. Look at Kyler Murray. By the way, what did Kyler Murray do when he went up against Matthew Stafford? Are you willing to bring that up, sir? That was 37-20. I understand. It was 37-20. Arizona beat the Rams. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, you do remember that, don't you?
I do.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to. How come you ain't quoting them on that, Molecule? How come you ain't quoting them on that?
He did.
That's
because
what he said.
Stakes are a little higher.
Stephen A., do you want to recall the game when the Buccaneers and the Rams played? Do you want to go back to that game, sir?
No. I asked you a question. Do you want to ride with your boy? You said it's about your boy. But you walking away from him.
When it comes to this conversation, this question.
Okay.
This question.
All right, please, pathetic.
You ain't riding
with him. If they meet in the NFC title game, we'll have a conversation.
Stop.
Coming up on First Take, it's about that time, y'all. Good day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us. Jay Williams, Darren Orlovsky, Stephen A. Smith, Molly Karam. How are we doing, guys?
Well,
great.
Listen, it's good to see everybody. I just need about 45 seconds to get something off.
Go ahead, let it go.
Give me that hat. Give me that hat.
Sure.
Give me that hat.
I brought it specifically for you.
See this hat right here? You see this hat right here? Let me tell y'all something. You damn Knicks. Y'all getting on my damn nerves. Obi Toppin goes in an open court and does a between-the-leg dunk. The New York Knicks were down 7 at the time. That pulled it to within 5. But y'all ended up down by damn near 30. You a game under 500. Wake the hell up. You're a below average team, damn it. I'm sitting there making bets talking about how the New York Knicks, we here. New York, stand up. Y'all sit the hell down. Get your damn act together. Julius Randle, play some damn team basketball. Tom Thibodeau, stop giving him the damn ball 19 feet, 20 feet away from the basket so we can see his ball handling skills, only to watch him use his left hand because we know he and R.J. Barrett are allergic to using their right hand. What the hell is going on, New York Knicks? I'm pissed off. Get it together. Y'all look like trash. 12 and 13 on the season after the year y'all had last year. What the hell is wrong with y'all? You ain't that damn good. Stop acting like it. Play together. Play team ball. Figure it out. Stop being an average defensive team.
Are you inspired?
That was so good.
So motivated.
Get the hell in, get it together.
I'm ready to play for Coach Smith.
Right? 11th
It's
and 8th.
ridiculous.
All right, let's stay in the NBA. How about Steph Curry? He's getting
Make me
closer
sick.
to passing Ray Allen for the most threes all time, dropping 6 last night in a win versus the Blazers by 10 points. He had history on his mind. His 6 made threes on 17 of 19 shooting. His next shot at the record will be Saturday night against his brother Seth at the 76ers on ABC. Jay, what is Steph's impact on the NBA?
Are you okay? Are you
I
ready
will
to start
be.
stats?
I
Make sure
will
you're
be.
okay.
As long as we don't talk
Then
about
your
the
heart
Knicks.
rate got extremely high.
We're going to have real basketball conversation. Because that don't apply to the Knicks
so good
right
to hear
now.
you say that.
That don't
Okay.
apply to the Knicks right now.
So I'm watching Steph, and it dawned upon me because I realized that offensively, S.A., he is the most revolutionary player the game has ever seen in the history of the league. In the history of the league. Now, I'm not saying what Michael Jordan has done off the court, because Brand Jordan is something that will transcend time. I'm not. But on the court, he has forever disrupted the geometry of the game of basketball, S.A. This is a guy that once he steps his foot over the half-court line, you have to pay attention to where he is all time, every single time. Even the way he shoots the ball. He is, when you're way to shoot the ball, it's like you hold your foul through. It looks pretty. You see Ray Allen, you see Kobe, you see MJ hold it. He shoots it like a slingshot. The way he gets shots contested, he makes those shots look as if they're available, open, easy shots from long distances that we've never seen before. That's point number one. Point number two, to add on to the most revolutionary offensive player to ever play the game of basketball, is when I watch Michael Jordan or when I watch LeBron James, I'm like, man, he's 6'10", he's 260, that's Karl Malone, that's Magic Johnson combined. I watch MJ, I'm like, he's 6'6", got a 45-plus vertical. I can't do any of those things. Stephen Curry is an everyday Joe megastar. He is our size, S.A. When you see him, it's like normal people. You can't work hard enough to be LeBron James. You can't work hard enough to be Michael Jordan. I'm not saying you can work hard enough to be Stephen Curry, but it sure as hell feels like if I get 1,000 shots in the gym, if I just keep working on my handle, I keep working on my 3-ball, I may be able to shoot the ball like Steph because he's a normal human being. He's not somebody that, I'm a normal human being, where I look at guys on the court, I'm like, man, these guys are aliens. Kevin Durant, 7'1" out here doing all this stuff. I can never be 7'1". I can never be 6'6" like Kobe and jump out the gym. But I can feel like I can be Stephen Curry. When I see little kids hosting the ball up from half court and shooting the ball like him, it seems like it's more attainable for young kids to think they can be Stephen Curry, more so than MJ or more so than LeBron James.
You're wrong. I respect where you're coming from because I feel a lot of those things about Steph Curry for the reasons that you articulated. But when we talk about the most revolutionary offensive player, I think it's time to start talking about him in comparison to LeBron James as revolutionary as it pertains to this generation. Okay. When we talk about the history of basketball, here's where I jump off the bandwagon with you, and I still stay with Michael Jordan. People were bringing Wilt Chamberlain, but like you said, 7'1" or whatever. There's a lot of dudes that's 6'4", 6'5", maybe not 6'6", but the vertical leap that Michael Jordan brought to the table, we knew was extraordinary, even though we saw that in the past from the David Thompsons of the world and a few others. But nevertheless, Jordan was one of a kind. Here's where I think you're cutting Jordan short in terms of his revolutionary impact on the court. From the days of the Boston Celtics winning the championship to Portland, for example, with Bill Walton, Lionel Hollins, and Marek Lucas and those boys, when they overcame an 0-2 deficit against Philadelphia with Dr. J and those boys and won the championship. I remember Seattle, the Supersonics, with downtown Freddie Brown and Dennis Johnson, Jack Sikma, Marvin Webster, and all of those boys, all right? Gus Williams, let's not forget him. I remember all of that. And then, of course, here comes Bird. Here comes Magic. You're looking at the NBA, and the NBA was about team. What happened is Michael Jordan came along, and the marketing machine that was the NBA, combined with the sneaker companies and everybody else, started focusing on marketing the individual, because Jordan was that kind of such a transcendent talent that they thought and felt, and accurately so, he as an individual, and I'm not talking off the court, even though obviously to some degree you're talking off the court in terms of impact, but I'm just saying, his abilities on the court made him a guy that you marketed to promote the brand. Kobe and LeBron and everybody, even Vince Carter and all of, they followed. But it started with MJ as the individual. Now, you could talk about Magic and Bird, but that was about the rivalry. It wasn't about their Herculean talents per se, even though both were great. It was about the fact that Bird was Boston and blue collar, cold near Connecticut, Molly, and all of that other stuff going on with Parrish, with Ainge, and all of those boys, with Red Auerbach and the cigar, and all of this other stuff. And God help them if they ever got their hands on Len Bias years later, before Bird hurt his back and ultimately retired. Could you imagine what Len Bias would have done with the Boston Celtics? People, the youngsters out there, you don't know about Len Bias. Look him up. The brother was they thought he was going to be the next Jordan. Okay, that's how special he was. And he was bigger than Jordan, too. But he had a chiseled body, could shoot the whole nine. But I'm saying when you look at Jordan, and Magic obviously with Showtime, with Worthy, Byron Scott, Kareem, all of these guys. But when you looked at Jordan, and Jordan came along, think about what we had in the league. I just gave you the Celtics and the Lakers personnel. I didn't mention Isaiah and the bad boy Pistons. I didn't mention Dr. J with Moses Malone and how they interrupted the proceedings by winning the title in '83. I didn't bring up any of those things. In the midst of all of that, the NBA said, the sneaker company said, corporate America said, yo, that dude right there, hell with all these teams. This dude right here is the dude that Marcus, because he's such a transcendent figure on the basketball court with what he could do, by the way, on both ends of the floor. I mean, it was Air Jordan, because he took flight, like John Sally said in The Last Dance, because you know he ain't human. You know he ain't human, right? You know we had to get him before he took off, because you know he ain't human. Michael Jordan was so special that from a revolutionary perspective, in terms of how the league utilized him, so we would ultimately pay attention to the individual heroics of the LeBrons and the Kobes and the Shaqs and everybody else in between. AI, let me not forget him. The list goes on and on. That individuality started with Jordan.
So I'm not comparing all those things about business and culture. Like
I'm talking the game. I'm talking this game.
I'm just saying strictly on the court. Let me ask you a question. Who's more relatable to you, Stephen A. Smith?
Steph Curry.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly my point. That's why it's more revolutionary to me, because you feel like you can go in the gym and shoot the ball from half court if you work hard enough. You don't feel like you can go in the gym and sky like Michael Jordan and do all the trick shots because I can hang in the air for 5 minutes. It's on an alien type level, because we haven't seen people to do that before, with the exception of Kobe or Vince.
But
you know what I mean?
What I'm saying to you. You're talking about what people feel they could do because of Steph.
Yes.
I'm talking about what people aspire to do because of Jordan. When Jordan had you wanting to go to the park, Steph has you believing, I could do that one day. So I get you. I get where you're coming from.
I hear you
so I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, when we use the word revolutionary, you're talking about a guy that's so relatable because of his look, because of his size, all of this other stuff, and the ability, because you can shoot. You know, everybody don't have a 45-inch vertical leap. So I get all of that.
Yes.
But you look at Steph Curry, and again, you aspire to do that. You believe you can do it. Jordan had you going to the park. People were thinking about football. Baseball was America's national pastime. All of a sudden, you got kids. Where's the basketball? I want to get to the park. Because of Jordan. That's the difference. And that's why I say he's more revolutionary.
It's something about Steph as an everyday Joe megastar that for me, it connects differently. Like, and I hear the inspirational side. I never said Steph was more inspirational than Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan is the most inspirational athlete potentially of all time. Him and Muhammad Ali in that conversation.
Right.
I'm just saying every kid growing up now feels like when they go to a park. I remember I used to see kids go to the park. I used to be trying to make it, like Mike, right?
But I think it's a byproduct
but I knew I could
of
never
LeBron.
do that.
But I think it's a byproduct of LeBron, because LeBron is obviously closer to the Steph Curry era because he's competed against him in numerous finals. He's still playing in the league today. Jordan obviously has been retired for nearly 20 years. What I'm saying to you is LeBron 6'8", 260. You knew you can't be that. That's a physical freak of nature.
Yes.
And it's in the same era Curry was playing. But when I think about Jordan, who's obviously removed from all of that, and you're talking about revolutionary and kids being interested in the game of basketball because of him, that's the difference. And that's where I think this comes from. And that's why I believe
One's
I'm right.
relatable, one's motivational. Jay Will.
It's just hard to dance with the ball. He probably has the second best handle in the league and the best shot we've ever seen.
I'm not questioning
the
any
range
of that.
he shoots it
I'm
from.
not questioning any of that for Steph Curry.
Showtime.
I'm just talking about revolutionary in terms of having that kind of impact on the game of basketball. What Jordan did for the game.
You're talking for the game. I'm just talking about specifically the game.
Some people limit.
Specifically the
but
game.
I'm talking about because of his on-court exploits. And I'm saying to you, some people think it's a negative, by the way. They think that Jordan is responsible for the individuality that has served to contaminate the game to some degree.
Because
he was so great.
Back the
there
team
you go.
And the continuity aspect.
See what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
10-3 shy of the most ever. Jay Williams, good to see you.
Thank you, Mom.
Let's get to some football, guys. Historic rivalry, Bears at Packers Sunday night. When Aaron Rodgers last saw the Bears, he was telling the Bears fans at Soldier Field about the advantage he has over them with his memorable "I Still Own You" celebration following his touchdown run in another Green Bay victory. In this era, Rodgers still owns them.
I don't know. You can question a whole lot of what I said. You know, we've had a good record over the years against them, and been a great rivalry. I'm proud to be a part of it. We have gotten the better of them the last, 27, 28 times we played them for the most part. But I have no regrets for saying what I said, but I get it. At some point, that will be used against me. It is what it is. I don't regret saying it at all.
I own you stuff at the end of the last game. Do you guys bring it up Saturday night? Do you use it as motivation at all?
I mean, we're aware of it.
Stephen A., that bad man talking that talk, is this bulletin board material for the Bears?
Well, it should be. I mean, what else do you have going for you if you're the Chicago Bears? You're about to go home once the playoffs begins. Your head coach is going to be fired. He'll be out of a job, and he knows it. The look on his face every week says so. Every day says so. Ryan Pace, we don't know if he's going to keep his job. It's cold. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of different things that it is cold in Chicago.
Chicago,
bro.
cool
It is,
though. It's a great
listen,
city.
Listen, I can't go to Chicago from November through April. I can't deal with it. I just can't deal with it. May through September.
The man who grew up in New York City.
But I cannot mess with Chicago from November through April. I don't want to see it. I don't want no parts of Chicago. Okay? The point that I'm making to you is this. It's a nemesis. It's a divisional nemesis that you have basically owned. Aaron Rodgers didn't, he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. The point is, it's almost embarrassing the Chicago Bears because of the matter-of-fact manner in which he disseminated that message. He wasn't hyperbolic in any way. He didn't engage in any histrionics. He was ultra cool and saying, the fact is, he didn't say two or three times.
It is what it is.
He didn't say 2 or 3 times. He said the last 27, 28 times. We've gotten the best of them. That's the ease with which he said it. And this is a quarterback that is subjected to punishment that can be inflicted upon him by a defense. To act that way shows he has little to no concerns whatsoever about the Chicago Bears. And other than the fact that they're losing, this might be right up there as one of the top reasons why Matt Nagy needs to go. Because clearly, he's not intimidated by you in the slightest. What a slap in the face to Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears. And Aaron Rodgers didn't even mean to do it. He was just spewing facts. And they are undeniable. So you want to call it bulletin board material? So be it. I guess the Chicago Bears need something to be relevant for the month of December.
Yeah, my first response, Stephen A, is you not being able to go to Chicago between the months of November and April quite literally makes you soft. Okay, that makes you soft.
Delicate.
It's an awesome, it's an awesome city.
Delicate is a more appropriate term.
Soft.
I'm
I'll go with
I like
soft.
to be.
Yeah.
I like to be warm and.
You and Marcus Spears, man, don't want to be near the cold.
Oh no. Marcus Spears ain't got no reason. He got too much meat to be complaining about the cold. There's too much beef up in there with Marcus Spears. He don't need to be complaining about the cold. But go ahead.
Hey man, I didn't say it. You did, Marcus.
Yeah,
to
damn right I said
make
it.
clear.
That's right.
I wanted to put context to what Aaron said because I looked at the numbers. So Aaron's played the Bears 26 times. He's 21-5 against the Chicago Bears. He's thrown for over 6,200 yards against them, 57 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. By far his best numbers against any team. So to your point, like this isn't, he's just speaking factual evidence that the Bears can do nothing against Aaron Rodgers. He's beaten them 6 straight times. And this is a guy that has broke the Bears' hearts year after year. I think back to like the Randall Cobb scramble play 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, late on 4th down where he breaks your heart. So Aaron Rodgers is just telling the truth about who he is in relation to the Chicago Bears. I think bulletin board material in the NFL is a little bit overblown, but I don't see how the Bears can win unless, Justin Fields comes out off of being injured and plays an incredible game.
Yeah, disagreement there.
All right. Packers are favored by 12.5. We'll keep it rolling, guys. All eyes on our nation's capital, Washington, on a 4-game win streak and just 2 games behind Dallas, who has dropped 3 of 4. It's crunch time for the Cowboys. Coach Mike McCarthy, what's on your mind?
Well, it's the most important stretch. I mean, and frankly, we all know why the division games are laid out this way. But in my view, I think it's a great course for your football team to go through. We need it as a team. We need the challenges. We need adversity. We need everything about it. I really like the way this is teed up for us. Obviously, our focus is on this first game and only the first game, and so we're focused on getting the 9 wins, and that's all that really matters. But I love the gauntlet of this division stretch.
Dan, talk to me. Is it more likely Dallas makes the Super Bowl or is bounced early?
Yeah, I think it's more likely they make the Super Bowl. When we look at the Cowboys in kind of this last 4 or 5 week stretch, after that huge run of wins they had in a row, one of the things that we haven't really kind of respected when it comes to the Cowboys is the decimation they dealt with injury. CeeDee Lamb missed games. Amari Cooper missed games. Tyron Smith missed games. Ezekiel Elliott has been 80%. Randy Gregory, arguably their best pass rusher outside of Micah Parsons, missed games. DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't been playing. So, we talk about like a team like the Ravens, and we reference all their injuries, and we marvel at what they've accomplished. And because of those injuries, and we're not kind of saying, okay, Dallas has not played great. I don't want to pretend that they have, but the struggles have been a little bit attached to those injuries. And if and when this team gets healthy, I think they're going to represent the team that we saw really the first 7 weeks of the season, more so than the one that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I still believe in the offensive line when they're healthy, as long as they're pulling people. I got to see Dak Prescott play better. He's got to be way better within the pocket than he has been. And I think the playoffs will all be about matchups. We saw this team and how they played against Tampa Bay. I think they match up well against Arizona. I think they match up well against Green Bay. I think they match up well against the Rams. And so I get that they have not played well, but if Randy Gregory comes back and Micah Parsons continues to play at the level that we've seen and they get some of those bodies back on offense, I just believe that this football team still is one of the 4 or 5 best in the NFC, and it's more likely they go on a run than somebody knocks them out week 1.
I love that last line. They wanted a 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Knows that they want a 4 or 5. I want the top 2. Want a 4 or 5. That means you got 3 teams at least that can knock them off. And these are the Cowboys that we're talking about. So that's exactly what's going to happen. These brothers going home. They might not win a playoff game. Dan Orlovsky. Matter of fact, I'm pretty much predicting it. Now, obviously, if the Eagles or somebody like that squeeze in there,
the Eagles are a bad matchup for them.
I'm saying, and that's the first round game that the Dallas Cowboys get. I'm not even speaking the Eagles. I'm just speaking one of those teams that just struggle to squeeze in as a 6th or 7th seed, and that's who the Dallas Cowboys get. All right, I give you a chance, but I'm talking about the big three here. I'm talking about Arizona. I'm talking about Tampa Bay. I'm talking about Green Bay. Dallas ain't beating those teams. Dallas ain't beating those teams. They're going to find a way. And let me tell you something right now. I will tell you this. This is the thing. Adversity in terms of people counting them out, that's fair. This team has elevated to a point where they rise above those ashes. But the second you speak glowingly about them, the second expectations are thrown on their shoulders, they will collapse. Now, we've got evidence. Like you said, Dallas Cowboys 7-1. All of a sudden, they won 3 of the last 4 games. They lost 3 of their last 4 games. We got a running back in Ezekiel Elliott. He needs some rest 1 minute. Jerry Jones is saying he don't need rest the next, but he's clearly hobbled. We got Tony Pollard who can ball, but he's underutilized, and we all know he needs to be utilized more. He's got breakaway speed. He's got game-changing speed. Obviously, he's a playmaker. He's got more elusivity in his favor than Ezekiel Elliott. They don't use him enough. They want to throw the football. 1 minute CeeDee Lamb is catching him. Another minute he's dropping them. 1 minute he's getting tackled. Another minute he's out concussed. Amari Cooper. 1 minute he's available. Another minute COVID protocols against Kansas City when you knew damn well you're supposed to have yourself available. Got the owner on talk radio in Dallas saying, it ain't about me, it's about we. And having to give that inspirational lecture to a dude he giving $21 million a year to and gave a $100 million contract to. You just can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up, okay? You got Michael Gallup, he was out and about, he's back, okay? You got the offensive line that was supposed to be studs, but now supposedly it's in tatters, and they don't know how good they're going to be from week to week. Then the coach goes out. What happens with him? He's subjected to COVID protocols, and then we got to have some big discussion. Some big discussion. Well, what are they going to do? I mean, he's going to coach virtually. I mean, like all of a sudden, Mike McCarthy is so valuable that him not being in attendance could be catastrophic for this army of individuals that's supposed to be ready to go against anybody. We got a guy in Micah Parsons that Pro Football Focus calls the best pass rusher in the game of football. We know what he brings to the table. We got Trayvon Diggs that went 7 straight games to start the season with an interception before he tailed up a little bit. DeMarcus Lawrence is there, then he's out. Okay, we got Leo Collins, he's out. You got cats like him sitting there trying to bribe test. All I'm saying to you is this, you got him trying to bribe test detectors and all of this other stuff. Every single week, something has happened to remind you that no matter how they look, they are who they are. And when it really, really counts, they will fold. Michael Irvin is watching this right now. He's sweating.
Let me ask you a question.
Keyshawn Johnson comes on here on Tuesday. He won a Super Bowl championship with Tampa Bay, trying to act like he a Cowboy. He didn't win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. He won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. But he seems to have forgotten that. We got Swagoo hiding 1 minute, bloviating his neck, sticking out his chest, trying to intimidate everybody with all his huffing and puffing. It ain't gonna matter. The Dallas Cowboys will fall. You can book it. It's the given. It's who they are and it's what they do. And y'all just wait.
I got two questions. I got two questions for you. All right, so they play Washington this weekend in Washington.
I think they're going to lose this week.
Okay, all right. So I need to ask you a question. So if they lose to Washington, I truly believe the division is going to come down to week 18 in Philadelphia. Yeah. You coming with me? Because I'm bringing the wife and the kids to that game. I need to know if you come with me.
Wait a minute.
In Philly.
Wait a minute. Now, if I could show up, I got to be in the suite, right? I can't sit in the stands.
God bless.
I'm not sitting in the stands no more. I mean, I'm a suite kind of guy now. I got to have some suite. I got to be in the suite. I got to be in the suite. I got to have some plush seats.
Is that a yes?
And I got to have some catered food.
We going?
If you talking that, I'll do that. I roll up there with
you. If they lose this weekend, we go in the week 18.
If it comes down to them, if it comes down to the last game of the season, I will go with you. I will go with you to that game. I will go with you to that game.
My next question is this.
Yeah.
If I'd ask you one reason why you think they're going to lose opening round of the playoffs, like you get one reason. Why do you think it's going to be then? Like who or what do you think is going to be the reason why? You get one.
Because the Dallas Cowboys will fold under expectation. They're great as underdogs. That's where they're dangerous. When you count them out and you think they ain't going to get it done. Dallas will rise up and handle their business. The second expectations are thrown on their shoulders, they can't handle it. They sweat a little more. Their hands get a little bit more slippery.
Don't you think they're in an underdog position right now, though, with all the losses?
No. They're not in an underdog position with anybody in the NFC least. Number
Yeah,
one.
not
you
this
think
game,
if they're
but
fully
period.
talented, if they're fully talented, Amari, CD, Zeke gets healthy,
I think their talent can beat anybody. I think their talent can win the Super Bowl.
So even though you think they'll choke?
I just know their character. They will choke. They will choke. They will choke. It's who they are. It's who they are. And every Cowboy fan truly, truly knows it. When you watch this team and they go down, everybody get a little nervous. They just sit up there and Michael Irvin says, see, this is what he does. This is what he does. And then he starts sitting there talking this nonsense. That's who they are, man.
You would trust. So let's say Arizona and them meet in round 1. You would trust Arizona and their youth over Dallas?
Yes. Yes. By the way, I'll go a step further. They'd beat Dallas by at least 10. They'd beat Dallas by at least 10. And let me tell you something else, too. Just listen. Do you see last week, Michael Irvin was on the sideline hugging and giving a pep talk to Dak
Would you leave that man alone?
Does that make any sense to you?
That's his guy, though.
No.
They got a little bit of babying going on down there right now.
That's right. They're 8-4 in first place. In the NFC least, they got Philly. They got 2 games against Washington and a game against the Giants on their schedule, and he feel the need to give them a pep talk. If that don't tell you how pathetic things are with Dallas, what will?
It's not babying, it's encouraging.
Oh, please, baby and coddling because he's worried.
Jerry's doing some babying right now, though.
That's
Jerry's doing some babying. Last year,
see him?
I said this yesterday. Last year, it wasn't okay when people tried to have Carson Wentz is back in Philadelphia.
That's right.
But now that there's some struggle at the quarterback position in Dallas, Jerry's like, well, it's everybody else.
That's right.
Their receivers ain't running the right routes, and they got the wrong depths and all that.
He said that publicly, Dan. He went on public radio and sat up there and said the receivers are not running the right routes, and that's what's really going. That's what really is going on here. You have any idea how pathetic that is? I mean, that's how desperate.
I'm with Stephen A.
They're all nervous. They're going to panic. They're going to fold. They're going to fold.
Because there's not a lot of video evidence. There's very little that says what Jerry Jones is saying is actual. I would say this, just point blank. Outside of the injuries, the main reason why they have struggled in moments offensively is Dak Prescott in the pocket has not been as good as he traditionally has been. He's bailing from clean pockets. He's throwing the ball too quickly. He doesn't trust up front. At least that's what it shows on video right now. And I think it's okay to say that publicly. You paid him 140 balloons.
Hey, Dan, I can say this to you. I've seen plenty. Don't get me wrong. He's got to play better. But I've seen Dak Prescott complete about 69% of his passes.
Yeah.
He's got 23 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions on the season. He's having a damn good season. How many times have we seen these stout receivers for the Cowboys drop passes? We've seen that. Yes. You know why? The bright lights, Molly.
It's a new day.
They can't handle it.
It's a new day.
They can't handle it.
Dak's going to win on Sunday. He's great in his division.
They're going to panic. That's all I'm trying to say. Because they got the talent. They even got the schemes. Kellen Moore's doing a good job. Yeah. We know how high-powered their offense is. Dan Quinn is doing a damn good job as a defensive coordinator. Mike McCarthy is doing a good job as the overseer. But somehow, some way, something always happens because they can't handle
We're going
the
to break.
And everybody with Dallas knows
Yes or no question.
They all know it.
Stephen A., who are you taking this weekend?
Between Dallas and Washington?
Yeah.
I'm picking the Washington football team.
Unbelievable.
I'm picking the Washington football team.
Dan?
I'm taking the Cowboys.
And I know the Cowboys are better. I know the Cowboys are better.
We'll
but I'm picking
there.
Washington.
Coming up next on First Take, we have a Stevens A-list. The matchup you most want to see in the Super Bowl. This better be good, Stephen A. Not selling it. Damian Lillard says he wants to be a part of the solution in Portland, but should he stay or get out as soon as possible? Don't miss Stephen A's take on this one. More First Take coming up.